Alright, Saturday the 11th of December. Almost halfway. Halfway tomorrow. Let's get into it. We have a Graff.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. If I'm not mistaken, I think we're back on the hop train again. There's a large number of hazies in this calendar so far. Not complaining, but yeah. They're usually incredibly good, so let's see what it smells like. Yeah, it's another hazy IPA, or hazy pale ale. This reminds me a lot, the nose on this reminds me a lot of Nova from Monkey Brew from a few days ago. It's got a lot of that overripe southern tropical fruit, southern hemisphere tropical fruit character. But I think to my nose it's really jumping out as 2020 Mosaic. That's really it. That's what I get. 2020 Mosaic from the nose. It has cantaloupe. It has a little bit of a lychee thing. Has really sickly sweet melon kind of thing, and the classic Mosaic dank pot character. That's kind of in the background on this one. I think maybe there's other hops in here as well, but I think it's Mosaic, which is the main character. See what's going on in the body. Yep. I think characteristic of Graff. I think it's got a great, not huge, but really nice mouthfeel. The kind of mouthfeel you would expect from a 4.7% beer, and that indicates to me probably that it doesn't have lactose added. A nice, friendly amount of bitterness, not too assertive, definitely within the style of New England Pale Ale. It's an awesome beer, pretty straightforward. I think let's just find out what it is. Oh! Xmas is one thing I know, which is a beer that we had last year. It is. Fun. A classic Graff style. We have no idea if I'm right about the hops. Eva Gudesat always seems to have information about the beers of every day, so I'm super curious as to whether I was right about the Mosaic in this one, so I'm going to send him a message. I can see that since we had this beer last year, in last year's they said that it had lots of Sabro in it. And if it's the same recipe this year and this has lots of Sabro in it, because I don't get the Sabro at all. So what that means to me is that's really interesting. There's been a couple of other beers that have had Sabro in them in this calendar, and I haven't been able to pick them at all. So what that means to me is if this is a Sabro beer, then Sabro is one of those hops which drastically changes character year on year. Because previously, Sabro to me has been lots of mandarin and coconut, and I haven't gotten that in any of the beers so far. This makes me think of Mosaic, and I don't get any of those mandarin and coconut. No, not even close to any of those mandarin and coconut notes that are typical of the Sabro I know. Maybe that was typical of 2019 Sabro, which would have been the beers that we used in the 2020 Advent calendar. All right, I just got a response from Ivar, and apparently it's Citra. There you go. That smells different than Citra has smelled for a really long time. He did say Citra and a couple of others. That's pretty special. I didn't really get any Citra character from that. That's pretty different. Definitely interested to hear if others picked Citra from that, because, man, maybe 2020 Citra is really different. Maybe it's way more pungent than classic Citra has been, where classic Citra has been more sort of orange and light stone fruit. None of those overripe melon, oversweet pot characteristics, which I was getting from that. So that's super interesting. I also, next year, I need to be way more on the ball and actually get information from the breweries because there's been way too many of these beers where we've just been sitting here at the end and it's like, oh, it doesn't say on the bottle which hops are in the beer. Maybe I'll try and send a message to someone on Facebook. No, need to be more organised about that. Either way, an absolutely outstanding beer under 4.7%. I think for me, actually, this is probably my favourite of the calendar so far. Just an incredibly good and clear hop profile, something which Graff excels at. I am one that prefers not too much sweetness in the body, and this is perfect for that. Has a nice little bit of bitterness in there. This is exactly my kind of beer. I realise everyone has totally different preferences. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of Yule Visp, but some people absolutely love that. Some people, that was their favourite beer of the whole calendar. Totally valid. Your preferences are yours. Some people like the sweet pale ales better than the dry ones. I like the dry ones better. It's like, when people review beers, it's just like music reviews. You have to keep in mind that it's all personal preference. There's no objectiveness when it comes to taste. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, I'm going to do a fun thing. I'm going to... I've done all of these blind tastings unblind in a way that I've been able to see the beer. So I think for tomorrow, it'll be fun to try doing a blind tasting where I cannot see the beer. Like, there's been a few beers where I've been able to see the colour and that has immediately affected what I've thought is in the beer. Like, yesterday's beer, I immediately thought, I saw the colour, the pink colour, I immediately thought raspberries. But if I had a blindfold on, what would I have thought then? And I guess we'll find out tomorrow, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. If you're blind tasting along with me, super fun opportunity to do the same thing. Find some kind of blindfold. I'm going to use a sleeping mask and put it on before you pour the beer in the glass, and we'll see what happens. Otherwise, enjoy this beer. It's freaking awesome. I hope I can get more of it because it's so good, and under 4.7%. What the hell? Brilliant. All right, cheers, and I'll see you tomorrow.